Да, состояние района у нас тяжелое. Бум. Так. Зачем ты вот это делаешь, раз это despicable? Так. Мне, собственно, нужно найти мальчика, который Гарри. О. Вот он и это. Я хотела же ему отдать лекарство. Так.
Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Sure. Sure. Even my dreams are soaked with
Какой-то он депрессивный.
So,
Очень.
may I ask,
I'm not bothered.
do you need any medical help, young man?
Yes, I do. I feel so tired. I don't know if it's the epidemic, but everything seems so hard.
Так, я надеюсь,
You'll
все нормально
feel better
будет.
with this. But you need to get a grip, young man. Medication alone won't cure melancholia.
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long in a world like this. But I thank you for your concern, sir.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
Так. Давайте пройдемся. Я знаю, я видела там двух людей, которые по сюжету нам надо поговорить. Я могу? Не могу. Хотела перепрыгнуть, но, видимо... Здравствуйте.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Господи. Это... Ладно. Она типа закос под русскую, что ли?
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crasionescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Она типа румынка. Что такой странный акцент, как будто на русское.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Ну ладно тебе.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly, but it is not your concern, Doctor.
Так, ну-ка. Ну ладно.
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
А что у нее? Переутомление. А, ну, на.
I am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
И такое ощущение, как будто в этом городе у каждого второго чувака переутомление. Прям хоть больше микстур делай. Ну ладно. Священник, что ли, какой-то? Похож на сумасшедшего. Ты у нас... Не знаю кто, понятно.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I must confess, some of my rational views have been shaken by recent events.
I'll remember to stay away from the district's roughest streets then.
Хорошее решение.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Это не тот вон сумасшедший мужик в мантии. Случаем.
He never goes out.
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Интересненько.
Goodbye, Mr.
Ладно, я думаю, если что, потом они... после того, как мы поспим, еще, может быть, кто заболеет, кто не заболеет. Тогда дадим им лекарства другие. Так, ты у нас сумасшедший поэт. Или ты...
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize,
А,
my
это
son.
отец.
Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
В смысле?
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fibre.
Ну, здоровый, кстати. Ну, он какой-то странный.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
Интересно. Может, она все-таки реально русская? Она же русские коммунисты всегда, чего нет-то?
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
What do you mean when you say...
All scientists are...
Quite a judge.
Well, you are...
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition. Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
Ты адекватный вообще? А если его там скали сожрут или вот эти вот на волков похожие вурдалаки?
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Да, у него явно крушняк. Немножко сорвало. Так. Что это у нас такое? Вот мне интересно, я могу зайти в церковь? Что ж такое горластый-то, а? Так, но я еще не со всеми побазарила, поэтому... Погодите. Слушайте, мне в церковь не дают сходить. Грехи свои замолить вампирские. Мне просто интересно, я там реально смогу зайти туда или... Меня обдаст святым, не знаю, светом, огнем каким-нибудь.
I cannot enter.
Так. И зачем сюда? Странно. Сюда можно зайти, только нафига? И сюда нафига? А, может, можно вот туда? Ну, не похоже. Странно. Букет. Небольшой букет, в котором спрятан купон на бесплатный недосмотр. Камелия. Это ты разносишь, что ли? Стой, женщина.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it?
Ну, здорово.
Amelia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary.
Она что?
A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
Она глухонемая какая-нибудь, что ли, или чего?
Very well.
Все еще эти букетики. Угу. Так. Письмо Дариуса Петреску. Мои дорогие и горячо любимые дети, мне так жаль, что у вас несколько месяцев не было вести от меня. В Лондоне сложная ситуация. Я знаю, что могу показаться эгоистом и дураком вам, мои дети. Ведь вы все еще живете в стране, где идет война. Но здесь, в Англии, тоже идет война. Война с бедностью и несправедливостью. Это война, в которой я намереваюсь участвовать, несмотря на свой преклонный возраст. Вот почему я пишу вам сегодня. В Румынии я не вернусь. Это означает, что, вероятно, я вас больше не увижу. Не грустите, мои милые, ведь вы уже взрослые, у вас свои дети. Вы знаете, на какие жертвы нужно идти, чтобы изменить мир. Вот жертву, которую должен принести я, чтобы снова почувствовать себя нужным. Желаю вам жить долго и счастливо. Поцелуйте от меня своих внуков и помните, что отец любит вас, даже когда находится в этой холодной стране. Любящий вас отец, Дариус Петреску.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
Карантин. Крест. Жжет. Нет, на самом деле. Так. Old Road, это старая дорога, что ли?
Watch yourselves! Away with you!
О, нет. Хватит, мне же больно. Какой здоровяк стрёмный.
This man
Фью.
stunned me with his face, his crucifix. This is not good news.
Это very bad news. Very, very bad news. Если такие уроды будут здесь попадаться постоянно, это очень плохо. Так. Я просто осматриваюсь, как бы. Что куда можно залезть там еще. Все такое. Хорошая ли идея лезть в подворотню? Нет, но я полезу. Все как обычно. Ой. Так. Что он тут искал? Обычная рукоять. А что тут открыто? Кто спер мой лут, слышите? Ладно.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Как это так? Кто-нибудь мне скажет, что это сейчас было? Мне что, заново? Да. А, ну... Хотя бы этого прекрасного священника нет. Так, ну давайте искать, как мне попасть. Давайте вообще по карте посмотрим. А, я поперлась. Непонятно куда. Я молодец. Давайте я вернусь, потому что тут что-то дикие вообще какие-то уроды.
It's locked.
Кажется, я подозреваю, как туда можно попасть, но это не точно. Там же был какой-то подъем куда-то.
For there is no protection against malevolence and trickery.
Угу. Вот здесь. О, пошли вон. Нет. Ты пошел вон. Это было очень больно. Максимально неприятно. Так, тут закрыто. Так, там был труп вроде, нет? Ой, да. Ну, ладно, хотя бы так. Найти Ричарда. Ага. Сейчас, погодите, найдем. Где это он? А, ну да. Собственно, кладбище. Самое то вообще. Сейчас ты тут это... Рассказывай, пожалуйста, не останавливайся, я посмотрю, что здесь у тебя есть. Письмо издателя с отказом. Да господи. Откройте мне, пожалуйста. Издательский дом Тхалим. Левендер Корт. Кемден-стрит, Лондон. Уважаемый мистер Ниттеркот, спасибо за то, что прислали нам сборник стихов «Песни сломленного города». Мы нашли его интересным. Это же мы вам ответили в первый раз, когда его получили. Вы должны понять, что в это страшное время для нашей страны публикация данной книги была бы совершенно неуместна, и поскольку вы отказываетесь менять название и требуете, чтобы работу напечатали либо в полном объеме, либо вообще не публиковали, то мы решили выбрать второй вариант. Наилучшими пожеланиями, Моррис. Угу. Камиля. Она реально какая-то немая, глухая. Фиг знает. Угу. Так. Иди сюда.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
I'll leave you alone.
О, нет. Подожди.
Good evening.
And
О, у него простуда. Давайте мы ему дадим.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
it may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health. But I appreciate your concern, sir.
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir, Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Ну, да, слегонца.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox, the stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
You don't really make a living from your scribblings, do you, Richard?
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
Still, you don't seem to suffer from poverty.
With thanks to my parents, actually. I'm afraid I would not be able to live on my own without their help.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a son they have to support.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes, the enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. especially with strangers.
Да. Особенно с таким, как я.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you, for a start, my dear Doctor.
Ну, такое себе.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'll leave you alone, sir. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Вот
Humanity can breathe its own beauty and grace. Whitechapel is not just disease, desertion and despair.
что мне интересно, вот я даю им лекарства, да? И они вроде как, ну, по истечении времени, когда я там посплю, прокачаюсь, а город там проживет своей жизнью, они лечатся, я так понимаю. Либо если я не даю, у них ухудшается здоровье. А может быть так, что, допустим, вот у него простуда или переутомление. Я ему дала лекарство, а в итоге оказалось, что у него какая-то другая болезнь. Вот. И это лекарство ему только навредило.
You look so pale, my lord. Would you like me to...
Так. Пробраться в дом Дариуса Петреску. Как бы это сделать, скажите мне, на милость. А то я там направо-налево раздаю лекарства, а вдруг... Что? К слову о лекарствах. Где мой дом?